Series ready to begin at Chase Field in Phoenix. It's the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks who enter the day with 11 wins, tied for the most in the National League at this point. And win number 11 for them was defined by that 8th inning where they scored 9 runs. It was the most runs the Dodgers had allowed in an inning in 5 seasons. And it was a painful 9 runs, as if there's any other sort when you're on that side. But 5 walks and a balk in that inning. And I'm sick of talking about it, frankly. How do the Dodgers put it behind them, Hershey?
You know what? They need to flip the script. They need to take that strategy and put it against Robbie Ray. They need to be patient. They need to be disciplined. They need to swing at strikes and take balls. Robbie Ray's last outing, he struck out 10, but he also walked 4. He's on a pace right now this year to walk about 6 batters every 9 innings. He also strikes out 11 every 9 innings, but you've got to be disciplined. You've got to flip the script against these Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers would like to score 9 runs in the game. Forget just in 1 inning.
Dodgers trying to even this series at a game apiece. We go down to Alana Rizzo.
Guys, and they'll try to do it with a very different looking lineup. Corey Seager not in the game today. He has had an appearance in all 17 games the Dodgers have played so far this season. Dave Roberts has to pick and choose when he's going to get a day off. Tonight is one of those days. He said earlier today that Corey Seager doesn't necessarily see the ball that well coming out of left-hander Robbie Ray's hand. Adrian Gonzalez, the left-hander, also getting a blow today. They also want to keep Austin Barnes involved. He will catch Kenta Maeda. Dave Roberts also saying he likes the way that both Chris Taylor and Scott Van Slyke are swinging the bat right now.
All right, Alana, and they'll try to support Maeda, who's off to a bumpy start this year. Tries to get it going at Chase Field in Game 2 against Arizona after this. Dave Roberts saying, "Get out of here, Baxter." This mascot is as playful as any in baseball. Here's Baxter the Bobcat and the Wild Horse. And they eventually are going to race. And the Wild Horse is going to win with a screen from Brandon McDaniel, the strength coach. So ready to rock with game 2 of this 3-game series, and the Dodgers starting lineup is brought to you by Honda. Kike Hernandez, as Alana told you, with Corey Seager getting the day off, starts it short. Bats lead off with the left-hander on the mound. Chris Taylor, a prominent spot in the order after his home run last night, hitting second. Turner and Puig 3 and 4. Then it's Van Slyke hitting 5th. Jock Peterson, the lone lefty in the lineup. Barnes and Eibner in front of Kenta Maeda. Robbie Ray, only 25 years old, in 3 starts this year, a sub-2 ERA, and that included those 6 innings that he threw at Dodger Stadium Monday, where he fanned 10.
We're watching a young man develop before our very eyes. Tremendous potential, and where you see the development is in his breaking pitches. He is starting to throw a larger percentage of curveballs and sliders. That could have to do with a little bit of the control problem, but they are very good pitches when he commands them.
And he'll face off with Kike Hernandez, who has homered twice against him in his career, including last weekend. Lone home run of the year for him. Always aggressive, even when he's leading off the game. Robbie Ray's first pitch of the day is a fastball that he attacks and fouls back, strike 1. .375 the career average for Kike against Ray, with a pair of home runs. The hard-throwing lefty from Brentwood, Tennessee, back home with an 0-1. That's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Average fastballs around 93, 94 miles an hour. Changeup is the least used pitch.
2-1. That fastball you mentioned last year, just a touch under 94, was the second hardest among all left-handed starters. His 2-1 delivery. Kike behind it, 2-2.
It's a day when the Dodger lineup is going to need to recognize what Ray is doing on the mound, inning by inning. He can have really easy breezy innings and then all of a sudden lose his release point, lose his rhythm, and build an inning for you.
Hernandez turns one around down the left field line. It scrapes the ceiling of this place, but is foul. Had home run distance to it, just out in front.
They talk about scraping the ceiling. The roof is closed right now, but the plan is to open it around mid-game, waiting for the sun to kind of set a little bit so the right field line audience doesn't get blinded. They can see the game.
There's another 2-2, and it misses. Kike's run it full. Doesn't like to change his approach necessarily based on where he is in the order. It's more dictated by the matchup. And he corks this one in the air down the left field line. It will stay fair. A leadoff home run for Kike Hernandez. The 3rd time he's begun a game with a home run. And the list, Lester, Bumgarner, and now Ray.
The fastball was almost a battle of egos. Ray knows he hits him well, and he's hit the fastball, but he doesn't go to the breaking stuff. He stays with the heater, and Kike turns it around.
And a 1-0 lead as Chris Taylor climbs in and takes ball 1. 3rd time in his career he's gone deep off Robbie Ray. A 1-0. And that's a strike at the knees on Taylor. Hit a home run of his own last night, and at the time looked like it may be the game winner. But the Dodgers up 5-4 before the 9-run 8th inning for Arizona. A 1-1 pitch. Taylor hits it hard. Jake Lamb at third. So 3 home runs allowed now this season by Ray. One by a 1-2 Brandon Belt. 2 of them to Kike Hernandez. With the bases empty and 1 gone, here's Justin Turner. Ball 1. Turner riding a 7-game hitting streak. Another double last night, leading the National League in that category. You can see the padding on his left hand after he was hit by a pitch a few nights ago. Still a little bit sore. He pulls one to third, and off one bounce, Lamb back-to-back putouts. So 2 gone in the first inning, and the Diamondbacks defense is brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. It's anchored by a 2-time Gold Glove winner at first.
Paul Goldschmidt has great range, great throwing ability, and very soft hands. There's not a portion of the defensive side of the game that he does not excel at. And also a very good brain as far as understanding the hitters and which way to lean according to what the pitcher is about to do.
So Puig bats with 2 gone. Like Hernandez has homered against Ray previously. And attacks the first pitch, strike 1. 0 for 4 in the opener last night. 1 for his last 16 now. Although you look a little closer at those numbers and see that he's still been putting the ball in play with authority. 1-1. The batting average on balls in play in that tiny sample size would tell you that he's due to break out. Only 2 strikeouts in the 1 for 16.
Do you know why he hits himself with the bat?
No.
He says that's to loosen my trigger muscles, my muscles that I'm going to use to hit the ball. And then he said that's because Possum didn't give me a good massage.
He is the team's massage therapist. Here's a 1-1. And a half-hearted swing and a miss was fooled. Strike 2.
We talked about Yasiel's statistics of late and not being good, but I have a lot more confidence that he's going to come out of the slump now because of the discipline and the work ethic and the same makeup and stance when he gets into the box.
Ray finishes him off with a slider, and the inning is over. But for the 2nd day in a row, the Dodgers on the board with a first inning long ball. Kike Hernandez, a skyscraper to lead off the game, and Kenta Maeda takes it with a 1-0 lead. Game in a 1-0 hole as this lineup comes up, brought to you by Honda. They're averaging more than 7 runs per game in this ballpark so far this year. A.J. Pollock is seated up at the top, then Peralta and Goldschmidt, Lamb, Tomas, and Descalso in the middle, and Owens and Herman in front of Robbie Ray down in the bottom third of the order. For Kenta Maeda, his 4th start. It's not been pretty so far. 11 runs in 14 innings, and perhaps most importantly, yet to pitch into the 6th.
The pitch that is his foundational pitch, what all Dodger fans know, his slider, is the pitch that he did not have in his last outing against Arizona. They actually hit .500 off of that pitch. A lot of work was put in between starts coming into this one on that pitch in particular.
A.J. Pollock leading it off for Arizona, and quickly behind 0-2 as he got strike 2 with the slider.
And that one was tight and it was late, and that's the Maeda slider that everybody knew and loved at the beginning of last year, then came back at the end of the season also.
Threw it again, laid off this time, 1-2. Pollock hit his first career leadoff home run yesterday. Part of a 3-for-6 game where he finished a triple shy of the cycle. Maeda delivers 1-2, and Pollock strikes out swinging on 3 consecutive sliders from Kenta. Dodgers defense brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC, and Kike Hernandez, who has played all over the place, makes start number 2 at short.
It doesn't mean he's going to finish there, but that means he's going to start there. We've seen him move around to 3 different positions when starting in left field, has been moved into second base, sometimes then over to short.
Overshift on for the left-handed hitting David Peralta. Fastball is in, 1-0. 2 hits last night. And no matter where the Dodgers have shifted against him the last couple of games, he's been able to find holes. 6 hits in the last 2 games against LA. 2-0. But hitless against Maeda. The 2-0. Strike 1. He's mixing his pitches early.
He went right to the changeup there, 2-0, showing a lot of confidence in that.
A 2-1 is in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike. Pantone 294 in the house tonight. Traveling group from Los Angeles.
Looks like Sergio Romo's joined them for a little bit. In a white jersey, we're on the road, let's go.
Huge group out there in right field. Apparently even bigger than the group that went to Chicago on the first road trip of the season.
Always good to see him.
Peralta crushes a ball to right center field. Peterson back off of the top of the wall. Misses going out by an eyelash, and it's just a double.
Peralta crushes this ball, but the best part of this after the hit is Jock Peterson's play, keeping this to a double. Let's take a look to see where it hits. Boy, it looks like it hits the yellow line on the side, but Jock played it perfectly to keep the ball there right by his feet. The yellow line runs around the outfield there. It's not just straight across. As you see, it juts out.
And it must hit above the yellow line to be a home run.
They're going to take a look.
Foot to the right, and there's no question that it's gone. Wow.
It is very close, isn't it? Let's see.
It looks like to me it could be a home run, but because it was called a double, I don't think. I've seen balls hit the actual corner edge of the wall and come back. So just because it's right there by what could be considered the lip, but that's, was that electric wires going up there, not water.
I mean, what luck though for Peralta to hit it in the one spot if it was indeed a home run where there is no yellow line.
Yeah.
Like the 1 foot in the whole park.
They might ask for that to be painted another time. Probably first time in the history of the ballpark any ball's ever hit there, including batting practice.
This is a crew chief review here. Torey Lovullo didn't dictate it.
It's either a double or a home run. There's no way they're going to put him at third. So this is huge with 1 out.
All right, so we'll get the word whether or not it was confirmed or stands, but it is a double for Peralta with 1 out here in the first.
Stands, I think.
Yeah, I do too. And they just actually let us know over the stadium PA the call stands.
And isn't there movement to put microphones on the umpires possibly sometime this year?
The AP had a report that they may toy with it at the All-Star game, with the intent of having it in place by the end of the season, having the home plate umpires or the crew chiefs mic'd up, similar to the NFL, to be able to let the crowd know. So man at second with 1 out, and it's Paul Goldschmidt. Fastball left over the plate, and Kenta got away with 1. Hernandez under it. 2 out.
It was definitely a mistake with the fastball, but the fact that it was a fastball probably got Goldschmidt off it a little bit. Been working him away, and you would expect maybe Kenta would start him out with a slider with first base open.
Jake Lamb reached again last night. That's now 16 consecutive games that he's reached in since he went 0 for 4 on opening day. And Maeda's year plus in the majors. Lamb has been as good as anybody against Maeda. And he stays that way. Way back to right field. No question about this one. Diamondbacks lead 2-1.
Confident bunch over there in that home dugout. A big win last night for them, getting the 8th inning, 9 runs, and now they're swinging the bat free and easy, and they're swinging early in the count. And when they're doing that as a lineup, that's showing a lot of confidence in their mechanics and their rhythm. I think somebody is going to get a hit.
Cleared the pool in right center. As we got a look on our Audi pitch cast. So Maeda gives the lead up here in the first inning, and Yasmani Tomas with the bases empty and 2 out. Strike 1. All right, to the 4th home run that Maeda has allowed in his 15 innings this year. One and 1.
With the preseason forecast for the Diamondbacks, and then they get off to a hot start, so completely opposite of the forecast. You'd think guys around here would be thinking, oh, you know, we'll see, you know, it's early. No, there's a different vibe about a team that wasn't expected to win, and the way they come to the ballpark, the way the broadcasters on the staff here talk about their team. And I think the management has really gotten it. Torey has really gotten a pulse of this club and turned it into more like Dave Roberts, a very positive, high energy clubhouse.
Tomas tends to expand. It takes this one, and it's 2-2. And really, to your point, it's completely opposite from the story last year, when everybody thought, look out for the Diamondbacks, and then they were horrible. This year, there are a few people that said they could bounce back, but most people had them pegged for the bottom. Tomas fouls it off, still 2-2. And again, Only 18 games into the season, but early indications are that this is a much different group than we saw last year.
You could say, oh, leading the way is the offense, but really leading the way is the starting pitching. And Shelby Miller has really found the strike zone and hitting 98 miles an hour. We could see him tomorrow for a day game.
That ball's lined to deep right field. Back goes Puig. It is gone. Diamondbacks teeing off on Kenta Maeda in the first.
Couple of fastballs left up, about thigh high. This one right down center cut. Tomas, who normally has been doing too much with his swing to try and hit the ball far, stayed within himself and just drove that ball to right field.
I hope it's that kid's dad knocking him over for the ball. Not somebody that he didn't know. He wound up getting it.
That's good.
Daniel Descalso takes strike one.
Kent is tired of issuing souvenirs.
Another than two, and this is an inch away from being 3 first-inning home runs against Maeda. Peralta's went to review and was ruled to have just missed, hitting an imaginary yellow line out there on the top of the wall. The 0-2 in the dirt to Descalso, ball one. Maeda got off to such a good start a year ago. 14 consecutive shutout innings to open his Dodger career, but 11 runs through his first 14 innings this year. 2-2.
Used to be good news out of Colorado, but I'm not sure this year. Colorado getting 3 on San Francisco in the first, and they're still batting.
Full count. Giants have the worst record in the National League right now.
And then they just lost another player, didn't they?
Hunter Pence injured his leg last night, playing defense, going after an inside the park home run, and out of the lineup today. That's ball 4 on Descalso. Haven't seen a roster move yet, so I don't know if it's going to be a DL situation, but yeah, Pence down now. Same week that Madison Bumgarner crashes his dirt bike. Same week that Bruce Bochy has heart surgery. And a week after Buster Posey's hit in the head, winds up on the concussion DL. They thought the second half last year was bad. They had another thing coming over the first 2 weeks of this season. Diamondbacks have completely robbed the Dodgers of the momentum that the Kike Hernandez home run provided in the top of this inning. 7-hitter Chris Owings, strike one. Maeda's 8th start against Arizona, 3 more than against anybody else. Hooked foul, and it's 0-2. The early indications are advantage lineup, having seen him that many times.
It turns into pitcher's advantage to now we're in a relationship, and it comes down to execution. And right now, Arizona is executing with the swings, and Kenta is making too many mistakes.
The runner takes off. Maeda pays no attention to him. Descalso was halfway between first and second and then froze, and Maeda still didn't look off.
Descalso's trying to time the delivery. Then when Kenta held it more than he was expecting, he said, oh, I'll probably have to go back because he's definitely going to get me, and Kenta still delivered the ball.
3 extra base hits and a walk in this inning.
Descalso wandered off too early. You could hear about 3 guys in the Dodger infield yell, "Step off." Maeda just continued on.
One and two. His next pitch will be the 28th of the inning. His last time out, he threw only 71. Lasted only 4.
There's not good news for the bullpen after all the work they got yesterday.
Well, the 1-2 from Maeda, and it puts an end to this first inning. For the Diamondbacks launch a pair of home runs. Lamb and Tomas go back to back. The ball flying out of here as usual. Season at Chase Field, 7-1. That matches their best start ever in this ballpark, and it comes 1 year after they were 15 games below 500 in that disastrous 2016 season. The biggest difference has been the offense. They're averaging close to 8 runs per game here. Lamb and Tomas back-to-back homers against Maeda in the first inning. Scott Van Slyke takes ball 1 from Robbie Ray. So an uphill climb for the Dodgers against a left-handed starter in Ray. 1-1.
You're out there playing defense as the Dodgers, and you see Kenta struggle. You feel like you're going to have your hitting shoes on today to win this game. You still have to execute the plan. You can't try and get it all back by yourself. You're going to have to hit as a unit.
Strike 3. And Slyke took 3 strikes, and he's the second strikeout victim of Ray.
The scouting report on Ray is he is going to his slider almost 50% of the time when he has 2 strikes, and maybe Scott is just fooled right there as he's expecting he's not going to throw me 3 fastballs.
Here's the only lefty in the Dodger lineup tonight, Jock Peterson. Dave Roberts has said over the last week or so Jock will continue to get opportunities against left-handed starters. Squares to bunt, takes a strike. A lot of it dictated by the type of left-hander that he's facing. Some of the soft tossing lefties can give Jock a harder time. Ray is the opposite of a soft tossing lefty. 1-1.
Ray is developing into a left-hander that can give everybody a tough time now that he's throwing the curveball and slider more. Just the fact that he's mixing his pitches better. He used to be above 70% fastballs. It's down to below 60 now. Just the fact that he's throwing those and puts it in the hitter's mind, and all of a sudden makes his fastball better. And when he does throw a strike with them, it makes him even better.
Let's go over 2-1. That's ball 3 on Jock. Before a game last year in Miami during warmups, Ray was having a hard time hitting his spots, which had been a theme early on in his career. The pitching coach, Mike Butcher, said, look, why don't you just throw it as hard as you can today and see how it feels? And Ray admitted that he had held back earlier in his career, tried to feel for things, didn't want to completely cut it loose. He was trying to save something in the tank for later. But he had a great day that day, letting it rip. Outside corner on Jock, 3-2. And Jock apologizes to home plate umpire Marty Foster for that step up the first base line before the strike call.
Marty got it right.
Ray struck out Van Slyke. Peterson protects to see another. Ray is also, as you've heard through an inning plus now, begun grunting in his pitches, something that he saw Zach Greinke do often. Same thing as letting it rip. He said he gave it a try and it felt good, so kept doing it. Strike 3 over the outside corner. Peterson hustles his way back to the dugout before he says something that he regrets.
Either the perfect pitch or just off the plate. It looked like Jock said, that's bad.
So 3 consecutive strikeouts for Robbie Ray brings up Austin Barnes with the bases empty, and he takes ball 1. So Ray, after he gave grunting while pitching a try, did a little research on it. And we talked about this during his last start, but he found scientific research, actual studies done that say that it's beneficial. Grunts a fastball by Barnes, 1-1.
One of the things you notice when people are tense is they hold their breath, and that tension stops the muscles from firing the right way. Not as flexible, not as strong.
Hear it in a lot of tennis players on serves. 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But Barnes making his 4th start of the year at catcher. Dave Roberts has continued to like his at-bat quality, finding spots to get him in. And give Yasmani Grandal days off. Waits on a 2-2 from Ray. That's in. The count's full. But Eibner getting the start in left today. He's on deck. Barnes trying to keep the inning rolling for him. Ray to the plate with a payoff. And Barnes pulls a base hit to left center. Over a leaping Owings and all the way to the wall. Austin Barnes stops at second with a 2-out double.
This is a pretty swing right here. Just stays compact, stays down and through that ball, gets enough elevation to get this double. And Austin Barnes does not run like a catcher. He runs like a middle infielder.
Which he once was. It's what he went to Arizona State to play. And converted to catcher just down the road from here. So Eibner to the plate with 2 gone here in the second. Still looking for his first hit in a Dodger uniform. Takes ball one. Seen Brett very aggressive in his first few ABs since getting called up from AAA earlier this week. You take a look at him during batting practice. When he connects, it can go a long way. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Recently engaged. He'll get married this November. Perfect baseball wedding date. Mid-November. Taking any chances. A 2-0 pitch. And he pulls a bouncing ball to the hole at short. Knocked down by Owens, and he has no play. So Eibner has an infield single. First big league hit of the year for him.
The Dodgers might not get a run this inning, but they are bringing up a pretty good hitting pitcher as Eibner rolls over this breaking ball and finds a hole over there. The one good thing about that ball right there is it gets Kenta Maeda to the plate. Turns the lineup over.
A home run, of course, came in his first career big league game in San Diego last April. Runners at the corners, 2 gone in the second, and Ray with the first one. Kenta hits a bouncing ball again to the hole at short. Owens a long throw to get it. Dodgers leave men at first and third. We go to the bottom of the second.
Second inning of work. A quick update for you on left-handed veteran starter Rich Hill. He threw a 25-pitch bullpen session today. Again, that left middle finger, the blister was wrapped when he threw that bullpen. So what is next for Rich Hill?
The problem is that there is no real solution to it. I mean, you can pickle juice, do, all the other crazy stuff that you want to it, but the only thing that's going to heal it is time.
And Dave Roberts saying that he will have to go out on a rehab assignment to try to figure out when he can come back with that blister issue. He also did say that they're not necessarily sending him out as a starter. Perhaps they can see if he can pitch out of the bullpen. They've even consulted with guys that deal with blisters on the feet as far as marathon runners are concerned to try to figure out what they can do about the blister on his middle finger, guys.
All right, great stuff, Alana. As Chris Herman comes to bat against Kenta Maeda, starting the bottom of the second. And he drops in a curve for strike one. The bullpen idea is an interesting one because, yes, you throw fewer pitches each outing, but maximum exertion more often than in a starting role.
His grip pressure on his curveball and his fastball is above average, let's say, and I'm not sure the bullpen will be that much different than the pressure he puts on his hand in starting, other than the number of reps.
Obviously fewer each outing, but more frequently.
Exactly. And so if it's the kind of thing where it gets irritated after 30 pitches and that's what you keep him under for the bullpen, then you have to find out how quickly you can bring him back. Does he need a day's rest to make sure the hand is healed?
Maeda strikes out Herman with a changeup to open the second.
Maeta's faced 8 hitters and he struck out 3, but there's been damage in between.
Using the off speed to get the strikeouts. The 3 balls that were crushed, all off fastballs. 2 homers and one that missed being a home run by mere inches. Robbie Ray cuts and misses. Strike 1. Am I allowed to call that a good looking swing by a pitcher?
It's not bad.
Okay.
Front side pulled out a little bit.
How about that one?
That was really good. Kept the front side in that time.
It is already his 4th hit of the year.
He loads it, gets the foot down. The hands were still back. Doesn't really go to generate full bat speed with the hip turn. Kind of kept the hips closed and just used the arms, but real good eye-hand coordination.
He says he gives the other starters a hard time about their hitting. You can do that when you have 3 hits and 6 ABs to start the year. Said he joked around with Shelby Miller. Hey, your swing during BP is great, but that's not the same swing you take into the game. A.J. Pollock, second trip to the Diamondbacks order here in the second in a 3-1 game. Strike 1.
Management will like it better when he starts kidding him about, hey, chase down my win total.
Yeah, right.
And then my hit total.
Pollock struck out to start the game on a slider. Barnes sets the target inside. Maeda throws one that backs up, ball 1. Pollock had a 2 for 32 stretch. That corresponded with a poor hitting for the entire lineup on the road trip, but lately 12 for his last 23. Nine-year-old in his 6th big league season on 1-1 tries to lay off, but it's a called strike and it's 1-2. Say that he's a hitting junkie, loves studying video of other hitters, trying to pick up little things. He's passed on a bunch of those things to other younger guys in this clubhouse. Jake Lamb is one of them. Followed Pollock's example and revamped his swing from studying other hitters. He had a breakout season afterwards. 2-2. Pretty amazing. This guy broke his elbow in April and came back in August. You can argue whether or not that was smart, with the team way out of first place. Played in a dozen games and hurt his groin, and that was it for him. 2016 just wasn't meant to be for A.J. Pollock. A 2-2 and line to right center for a base hit. Puig hustling to try and cut it off. He knocks it down. Picked up by Peterson. A double for Pollock. And second and third with 1 out.
Good piece of hitting and then some good outfield defense by both Jock and Yasiel. Ball's up again. That's one of the first sliders to get hit off of Kenta, but Yasiel really runs hard and Jock does not assume anything. He is hustling right over there. So that little deflection right there keeps the runner on third, keeps a run from being scored. No assumption from Jock Peterson.
So 5 hits now, a single, 2 doubles, and 2 homers. Ray at third, Pollock at second, and Peralta at the plate. Swings and misses at a changeup, strike 1. Peralta, the one that missed a home run by inches his first time up. Kenta's 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Like Pollock, 2016 pretty much a lost year for Peralta because of injuries. Back injury, finger injury, wrist injury. That was the big one. On 1-1, he takes in the dirt. Good stop, Barnes. Peralta had surgery in August, and they had to tie the ligament in his wrist. It had come loose, tied it back into place. It took him 6 months before he was fully recovered. Wasn't able to swing a bat again until January. So those first days that he went out there to take his very first swings back, he was really scared to cut it loose. See how that surgery would hold up. A 2-1. Bounce past the mound to second. Urquique coming home with it from short, and they get Ray. Kike on the second base side of the bag fields it and comes home.
A risky play, but he is definitely rewarded. Kike has a very strong arm. He used his outfield arm right here. A little stutter step to get the ball to Barnes in time, and we'll have a take a look as you got 30 seconds to decide if you want to review this or not. Austin, the tag is up near the waist. Does the foot get in? They're going to move on. They say he is out, and I think they got it right. I think the foot looks like it's about to land on the plate, but it's still above it.
Boy, I'm a little surprised they didn't challenge, to be honest with you. I thought the foot might be under the tag. Torey Lovullo elects to let it go and brings up Paul Goldschmidt. So Peralta's at first on a fielder's choice. Yeah, okay.
Let's see how the toe is up and the middle of the foot is up, but the heel hasn't reached the plate yet. And in some ways, Major League Baseball might take a look at that, because guys just are really timid as far as putting their cleats down there around the rubber plate and catching it and hurting an ankle or a knee. And I wonder if we'll ever get to a point where the runners say, you know how dangerous that is, and so the reason we're late in touching the plate is because we have to stay above it and then drop our foot down. So we would really be there if it was a base. But since it's a plate, maybe they will say that your foot is over it. You'll be safe.
Coming inside on 1-0 and getting us a little bit low, 2-0. So what is the alternative?
That when the foot, you'd have an overhead camera at every park, and if you can see that the foot is over home plate, okay, you are established that you've touched it.
I see what you're saying.
Same thing with fingers. Guys going in there with their hands. And they've done everything to protect the catcher, to protect the middle infielders, but they're not doing much to protect the runners. It's all the runners are the ones inflicting the pain. But now, you know, the catcher has to give you a portion of the plate. Somebody has to give you a portion of a bag. You can't block it. But it's very hard, and it's really getting to the basis of games of about touching something to be safe. So it would be a big step.
Dangerous pitch. Well placed, strike one.
And I wouldn't bring it up if, you know, 75% of the runners you talk to, if you just say, hey, what about home plate? You're like, well, you got to watch out. When you slide in there, you can catch a spike easy.
So you're not saying change the way home plate is built. You're saying change the rule as far as what makes you safe.
Safe. You're over the plate. You are considered touching it.
Wants to go inside again on 2-1. So that looks the runner back to the bag.
You know, the bags give when you're sliding into a bag, and guys use the pop-up slide, and you can hit the bag and use the pressure from the bag to bend your knee, and then you come up or you stay on the bag. But there's nothing really there at home plate.
2-1. 2-2. Goldschmidt popped out his first time on a pitch that Maeda left center cut. Got away with a fastball. That was sandwiched in between the 3 balls that were pummeled against Maeda in the first. Doubled off the top of the wall from Peralta. And back-to-back homers from Lamb and Tomas. The Dodgers run coming on a Kike Hernandez homer to start the game. Here's a 2-2. Full count. Arizona, the best team in the majors with runners in scoring position. Really good in wins, really bad in losses. But it averages out to the best clip in the majors overall. Here comes a 3-2, and Goldschmidt lifts a fly ball to center. No big deal for Peterson. And Maeda able to pitch around trouble here in the second. Take a look at the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam. Hernandez home run against Ray to start the game.
A little bit of a hesitation in his leg kick now, and I like the way he's getting a very good rhythm with his load. See him raise that front leg up to make sure the weight's in the correct place. Guys use high leg kicks. He uses a hesitation leg kick.
Ahead of Ray 1-0. Started him off speed. The next one off speed again, but down the middle, strike one. Home run was hit at 106 miles per hour at a launch angle of 34 degrees, which was quite a bit higher than the ideal launch angle for homers. 2-1, but he overcame the too tall of a launch angle with that high exit velocity.
Ever since Kike's been in the Dodger uniform, people around the cage say the ball sounds different off his bat. He swings the bat really hard and has great bat speed. And he can hit it a long way, so he can hit it those launch angles when 103, 104, 105, 106. He'll still make it over the fence.
Here's a 2-2. And he takes it low. Learned the game from his dad, Enrique Sr. Every day after school, he'd throw Kike BP, and they'd race. Kike finally beat his dad when he was 13. I bet that was the last time they raced. Fouls it off, stays full. There was one time a year before that His dad was throwing in BP, and he hit a line drive off his dad's chest. And he said he panicked and looked for the cell phone to call his mom, thought he had killed him with that line drive.
Dad was probably proud.
And a well-earned walk. So the first walk issued. Up comes Chris Taylor. We look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. How about Chris Taylor's career in this ballpark? The 2 home runs that he's hit, both coming here. Finished a single short of the cycle in a game here last season. And he, like Adrian Gonzalez, talked about the batter's eye out in center. Big green backdrop. Ideal for hitters as they look out towards the mound. Ball 1. Let's check in with Alana.
As Chris Taylor's really been working on the rhythm of his hands. What he told me he means by that is not just going from stop to start, being able to recognize the pitch and adjust his hands accordingly to that pitch recognition. He says it's really helping him create more bat speed. He also had the mindset of hitting the ball on the line into the outfield, basically trying to elevate that ball. You guys have talked about that a lot this season with different players. He said last year I was fighting to stay on top of the ball. He said this year I'm trying to elevate it more, have rhythm in my hands a little bit more. He said that certainly has changed his bat path.
And he has looked really good in his few days in the majors so far this year. Was their best hitter during spring training. That's with a man at first, nobody out here in the 3rd. And on the 2-0 pitch from Robbie Ray, I'll tell you in a moment. The home run that he hit last year in this ballpark was a grand slam, and he became the first player in Dodgers history to have his first career home run be a grand slam, at least in LA Dodgers history. Happened 4 times in Brooklyn Dodger history. Hard hit, base hit. Chris Taylor just keeps on racking them up. 2 on and nobody out to open the 3rd.
He's doing more than opening eyes. He's starting to earn playing time. Everything he does seems to be at a higher level this year, and especially the bat.
So now Justin Turner representing the go-ahead run here in the 3rd inning. Do you apply the same concept here you do at Coors Field? A 2-run lead, you have to cut it in half.
Yeah.
As far as how it actually translates in this part.
I'm right with you on that one, especially if they open the roof here in an inning or so.
Fastball to inside, ball 1. Although the roof's been closed and has been flying pretty well like this too.
It sure has. I think it's going to carry even better if they open the roof, though.
Yeah. There's a great story about that. Some of the legendary pitchers they've had in this franchise. Here's a 1-0. Turner pokes one, a base hit into right field. Hernandez gets the wave, and Peralta's throw goes into second. RBI single, Justin Turner to cut the lead in half.
Justin Turner with the single and the RBI, and Kike Hernandez kind of gave a little hesitation to Chris Woodward as he came around 3rd. A little bit of assumption. Chris really got down the line to give the signal and gave it late. And you see the little stutter step. Kike may be assuming he's about to get the hold. Once Peralta turned his back and Woodward knew that the ball was going to second base, that's when he gave the wave.
A walk and 2 singles in the inning, and now it's Puig. Ball 1. So that story about one of the pitchers here in the early days of the Diamondbacks, roof was open, gave up a couple of home runs, and this was a guy that had some clout. He comes walking off the field, shouts into the dugout, shouts at the umpire, close that dang roof. Dustin Dente, our director, is giving it away. It was Randy Johnson.
Oh, okay. I was going to give another hint, like he's a really good photographer.
2-0.
It's his big hobby.
So they then told the home plate umpire, hey, we got a bad storm coming. And there was one coming.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a few hours off. And they told him we had this huge windstorm coming. You got to close it fast.
Because you can't close the roof if there's a certain level mile-per-hour wind.
Right. So they got it done for big number 51. 2-0.
I've never heard if he won the game or not.
No, I haven't either.
Shut him down when the roof is closed.
Puig laid off, 3 balls and no strikes. Dodgers mounting something here in the 3rd. I already have 1 in the bank. Still nobody out. Men at 1st and 2nd. See if he's given a green light on 3-0. He is a big bouncer to short. They get 1 and 2. So at 1 pitch, this inning completely changes. Scott Van Slyke with a man at 3rd and 2 out. Frustrating for Puig. He's ahead of Ray 3-0. He's talked about elevating the ball. Knows that if he doesn't get the ball in the air, he's not going to have any money in his pocket. Ball on the ground there cost him. Van Slyke hits a towering pop fly into short right field, and the Dodgers will settle for 1 here in the 3rd. On to the bottom half in Phoenix in a 3-2 game. And back to the back-to-back home runs. The Diamondbacks hit in the 1st inning off Maeda. 2-run shot from Jake Lamb made it 2-1. And then Yasmani Tomas followed with an opposite field shot. But Arizona in front 3-1. It's now 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. And those two will lead off this inning against Maeda. Jake Lamb takes ball 1. He's a finalist for the All-Star Final vote last year. Didn't win it. One of the big promotions they did here to try and boost his votes, try and get the word out. They put an actual lamb by Jake Lamb's locker.
Put it all out on social media.
Good effort. 1-1. Didn't work. Didn't make the All-Star team. They now have a bobblehead they're giving away that is your normal Jake Lamb, but it also has a lamb mounted to it. Wonder if the Lamb's Head bobbles 1-2.
Only when you shear it.
He's 6 years old. Breakout season last year. He had 29 home runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First time he'd ever hit for any power. First 2 years in the majors, he hit 10 home runs combined, and then 29 last year. Here's the payoff of a lot of hard work in the offseason, changing his swing, lowered his hands, added a leg kick, and fought through some hard times trying to overhaul it. Swings and misses for strike 3. Kenta pulled the string on him. Almost gave up that new swing midway through the offseason. He was trying it over and over, trying to come up with something new. But when you do something one way your entire life and then drop it, try to reinvent yourself, that can be tough.
You need a whole offseason. You need to be able to trust it when the pressure's on, and that's the key at this level. And you're not just trying to invent yourself at the high school or college level. You start to do it at the best in the world you're going to play against.
Tomas. Ball 1. Did you ever go through a thing in your career where you felt the need to completely reinvent your delivery or the way you threw a particular pitch?
Not really. Learn more and more about my delivery or how I wanted to throw the ball, especially after reconstructive shoulder surgery. You're coming back and studied a lot of the biomechanics stuff, trying to find ways to take pressure off the shoulder.
Tomas to third. It's Turner. 2 out. Something Brandon McCarthy's done, kind of altered his delivery a little bit partway through his career to take the stress off of his shoulder.
I think every generation there's more and more information and things that seem to be or are cutting edge, and you have certain people in different professions that continue to push the envelope. You know, things aren't culturally accepted, but you find out from another area that you decide to go with. I mean, we've seen Pilates come into the big leagues. We've seen yoga. We've seen physical therapists. We're just starting when I was in the middle of my career. First one was in Boston and in LA with us.
And the Descalso popping one into shallow center. Jock Peterson is on, and that is a 1-2-3 inning to help Maeda somewhat get this game back on track with a pitch count under control.
A Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Try the Double Jack Combo for just $4.99. Only at Jack in the Box.
Dodgers played their first night game in Los Angeles at the Coliseum on this date in 1958. Beat the Cubs. That picture is not from that day, and the reason I know that is because the Coliseum held about 90,000 at its peak, and the attendance that day was 39,000. That place was jam-packed right there. Roof is opening here at Chase Field as we go to the 4th inning in a 3-2 game. Joe Davis or Hershiser and Alana Rizzo. Jock Peterson starts the inning against Robbie Ray and takes a strike. The 1958 team, first year in Los Angeles, they finished 21 games out of first and won the World Series the next year. Peterson swings and misses badly, 0-2. 1959 team, that's when Maury Wills arrived. He learned to switch hit in Spokane, and all the difference in his career. A couple of midseason call-ups that were big too. High and away, 1-2. Vin told me that the most distinctive thing in his memory about the move is the way that the city embraced the team for the '59 season, how it really became Los Angeles' team. In the dirt to Jock, 2-2. There was the excitement of actually having a team in '58, but when you finish 21 games out, you can only get so excited about that group. They won the World Series in '59. It's when LA fell in love with its Dodgers. Rays 2-2, down and away to Peterson, who after falling behind 0-2 has worked it full. Winds up getting him. 4th strikeout, 1 out in the 4th.
Catcher, Austin Barnes.
Austin Barnes ripped a double to the wall in left center his first time up. Ray delivers and Barnes takes one that bounces, ball 1. A couple of guys facing off here that have been traded in their short pro careers. Marlins to the Dodgers for Barnes. Ray has been traded twice already. He's only 25. 1-1. Was drafted by the Nationals in 2010, then was traded to the Tigers before the 2014 season, and 1 year later traded to Arizona. Barnes hits it down the right field line towards the corner, still flying but foul, and it's 1-2. That's a 3-team deal that sent Robbie Ray from Detroit here to Arizona. That's what got the Yankees the heir apparent to shortstop for Derek Jeter and Didi Gregorius. One, 2.
Good job by Austin Barnes fighting that pitch off. Well, it looked like it was down the middle and then just really started to bury in on him, and he had to bail a little bit just to be able to get a piece of it. Getting more and more comfortable every day he gets an opportunity to play.
Get it on his hands, push that one foul as well.
Last year he admitted that he was trying to get 3 hits in 1 at bat at the end of the year when he was called up and got an opportunity to play, and completely different look in his eyes now, and just the pacing of all the moves and the calculations. He feels like and looks like he's taking inventory, and the game is slowing down.
He was part of the D. Gordon deal, December of 2014. Now in his 3rd year with big league time. Waiting on another 1-2 from Ray. And he again fouls it off.
Just getting into the school year. No more first day of school jitters. You come in there, you understand who your teammates are, how to run the big league lifestyle as far as getting in your locker and getting dressed, getting part of the schedule, starting to be yourself.
Just misses. Count evens 2-2. bases empty and one gone in the fourth. Ray to Barnes in just a moment. With the 8th pitch of the AB. Herman setting inside. Barnes taking one in the dirt. Full count.
Good recognition there. We've seen him fight pitches off with a swing, and right there didn't pull the trigger. Dodgers doing a much better job against Robbie Ray this time around. Last start they were swinging a lot of those balls upstairs and in the dirt.
That's a great walk for Austin Barnes. Second one issued by Ray. One out base runner for the Dodgers here in the fourth.
Dave Roberts talked about the reason he's in there is he likes the quality of his at bats, where he's hitting below 200 and the manager is recognizing talent. He's got a double and a great walk.
Eibner with an infield single his first time up. First hit this year in the majors for him. Ray delivers and Eibner pushes one foul. Strike one. Eibner lived all over the place growing up. His dad had a job in life insurance. Relocated several times. Played his college ball at Arkansas. To high school in Texas. Lived in Virginia some. Originally from San Diego. I figure his moving around as a kid has helped him move around to different organizations. 3 different ones in the last year. In the dirt, 1-1. Kansas City to open last year, then Oakland, and now the Dodgers.
With his power, he can change this score in a hurry.
2-1. Speaking of his dad, hope he's doing okay. His dad had elbow surgery a few days ago. He was riding his bike and the dog got caught up and pulled him to the side and crashed to the ground. Really banged up his elbow badly. Had to have it operated on. Well, best wishes to Mr. Eibner if he's watching. His son waits on a 2-1 and grounds it foul. 2-2.
Brett upset with himself right there. He got a hanging breaking ball that didn't make it all the way back down and under his swing. Just spinning there in the middle of the plate. These are the ones that right-handed power hitters feast on. Look at that ball up there right by the waist. Stays out there by the barrel, doesn't bend.
A 2-2 in the dirt. Full count. Dodgers really making Robbie Ray work. Next pitch will be his 75th.
Another quality at bat right here at the bottom of the order. Barnes finished his off with a walk. You see the Dodgers are building that pitch count, especially 20 here with only 1 out.
It's the 8th 3-ball count that Ray has had in this game. His payoff to Eibner is in there for strike 3. 5th punch out. 2 gone in the 4th. The only way to guarantee your seat to Corey Seager bobblehead night is to choose this game as part of your 5-game weekend mini plan. By the mini plan today, be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on April 29th and get the Corey Seager bobblehead from Spectrum. Go to Dodgers.com/mini plans. Maeda bats for the man at first and 2 out. Strike 1. Maeda lifts a fly ball to left. Tomas drifts over. Plenty of room in the corner to pull it in, bring it into the Dodger fourth. Arizona by 1 on a Saturday night as we go to the bottom of the fourth.
Honeycutt earlier today. A couple of other left-handers were also throwing today, trying to get back on the field. Scott Kazmir threw 40 pitches. Dave Roberts said that he shows improvement. He did throw everything as far as his repertoire was concerned, but they still want him to tighten it up a little bit. The velocity still isn't there. I think he's still pretty far ways away, guys, from coming back. Grant Dayton also through, dealing with that intercostal strain. He looks like he's going to be activated off of the disabled list as soon as Friday when he is eligible. Julio Urias threw yesterday, pitched well. They think the next step for him is to be another 5-inning stint. That's basically where he's getting close to. They don't know when he's going to be up at the big league level. Everybody wants to continue to bring up Julio Urias, but he's not quite there yet.
All right, Alana, bottom of the fourth inning in this one with the Diamondbacks in front 3-2. Back-to-back first-inning home runs from Lamb and Tomas. Accounting for this Arizona lead. Dodgers got one in the first on a Kike Hernandez leadoff homer. Got one in the third on a base hit from Justin Turner. Bottom third of the Arizona order, and Chris Owings. A breaking ball, strike one.
First curveball we've seen Kenta throw tonight, and recent history is to form. This is the part of the order that he kind of mowed through. Strikeout of Owings, strikeout of Herman. Got through the tough part with Lamb and Tomas.
Base hit to left. Owings hustling out of the box, turns hard and holds on. Leadoff single for Chris Owings.
Guess I jinxed this inning.
It happens.
Well,
6 Diamondbacks hit over the first 3+ against Maeda.
this is huge right here, getting this batter out, because you got the pitcher on deck and Ray will be able to bunt him over.
Herman struck out his first time on a changeup, and swings and misses at a changeup for strike one. Looking for his first hit since the first week of the season. Part of this three-way timeshare at catcher with Iannetta and Mathis. And he pulls a fly ball to deep right field. Puig looks. There it goes. Third home run against Maeda. Herman's first of the season, and it's 5-2.
hitters are getting very comfortable against Kenta, and he's making a lot of mistakes with the fastball on the inner half. You go fastball in to most hitters, it's usually you're going in there on the black, the edge of the plate, or a ball, because if it leaks back over the middle, that is right into the power of a hitter.
The pitcher, Robbie Ray, singled his first time, takes strike one. 3 of the 7 hits have been homers. One of them was an inch from being one. 1-1. All 3 homers that he's allowed have come off fastballs. 2-1 on Ray.
Kenta showing a little emotion out there right now, kind of snap catching the balls back.
That ball's pummeled down the right field line, but hooking foul.
An awful lot of comfort in the batter's box. Diamondbacks have not had their shoes loosened. Free swinging, and they're swinging from their heels.
Maeda gets him with a changeup. 1 out.
Even the pitchers are taking healthy cuts.
So on a night where you don't have your best stuff, how do you combat that?
You've got to open up one side of the plate or the other, and you know, a lot of times the easier side to open up is the outside part, but you've got to do that by pounding the ball inside off the plate.
Pollock 1 for 2. And he drives the ball in the air to the opposite field. Puig settles under this one for out number 2. And then throws the ball into the seats, thinking that it's the 3rd out. A Milton Bradley moment for Yasiel Puig. At least in this case, there was nobody on.
Yesterday it took Yasiel on a 3rd out 3 times to give a ball to a young fan, and he stayed with it and was patient with the young man until he finally got it in his glove.
Here's Peralta. That's low, ball 1. Doesn't cost the Dodgers anything, but it's those kinds of lapses that have helped build Puig's reputation that he's trying to shed. Fly ball to deep center. It's over Peterson's head, and it 1 hops off the wall. Peralta has a double.
It's one of the first changeups that's hurt Maeda, but it is still in the middle of the plate and slightly up. I think it's 2-3 inches above the knees. It ends up down the middle. And that's right where it is, and gets him out in front as far as the change of speeds, but with it being center cut, you can stay on it.
8 hits now. Goldschmidt, the only man in the Diamondbacks order yet to reach. Popped out to short, flied out to center. Barnes wants it over the outside corner and takes low, ball 1.
Doing a little reverse shift. There were so many guys on second base yesterday. There was an inkling that maybe there were some signs being flashed from the guy on second to the hitters. So Dodgers mixing it up a little bit right there, not only with the signs to Maeda, but the signs of the location. So they can't give any body language signs out there at second base.
And the hold at short, Hernandez, a strong arm throw to get Goldschmidt. and finish off the 4th inning. But the Diamondbacks add 2 on a Chris Herman home run, and after 4, 5-2. This was depicted in the movie 42. If you've seen that, Kike Hernandez leads off this inning and takes a strike. But Chapman, the manager of the Phillies, an unabashed racist, and had his players shouting slurs throughout the game at Jackie, intentionally hitting him, spiking him at first base. It was such an awful display that one of the players even afterwards came out, and even though he'd been instructed to do it, apologized publicly. The commissioner publicly chastised Chapman, and Jackie said it was the closest he ever got to snapping. Inside on Hernandez, 1-2. Instead of snapping, though, Jackie that day 2 singles. He stole his first base in the majors, and he scored the game's only run. Hernandez with a shot to third off a bounce. Lamb throws him out. They also, though, say that this day in 1947 is the day that galvanized the Dodgers behind Jackie Robinson. Branch Rickey, who ran the team, said that Ben Chapman solidified and unified 30 men on that day, and it was Chapman that made Jackie a real member of the Dodgers. One out in the 5th, and it's Chris Taylor with the Dodgers in a 5-2 hole. Ball 1. Grounded out to third in the first inning, and then hit a bullet to left his next time. Hits another bullet to left. Second hit of the day for Chris Taylor. His average in this first week is around what, 600 or 700 now?
It doesn't look like it's going to stop. He is locked in. He has got a lot of confidence in the bat speed and the eye-hand coordination right now. Alana did a nice report on how he wants that hand movement to generate the bat speed, and he's got it moving in the right direction.
Justin Turner now, whose RBI single his last time, extended his hitting streak to 8 games. Waits on the first one from Robbie Ray and takes over the inside half. Strike 1. 17 games into the season, Justin still looking for his first homer. But remember that 2 months into the season last year, he had 3 home runs. And over the final few months, he hit 24 more. Rays 0-1. Fastball buzzed him to even the count up. Southern California native, grew up in a family full of Dodger fans. One of his earliest memories was watching the Gibson home run when he was 3, laying on his grandparents' floor. The 1-1 pitch. A little bit low, and he's ahead. Went to Mayfair High School in Lakewood, California, then to Cal State Fullerton. He had been a bat boy growing up at Cal State Fullerton. So as much of a dream for him as it was to play in the majors and one day wear Dodger blue, his thing was he wanted to be a Titan. A 2-1. And rolled to third. Lamb scoops it. Goes to second, 1. Back to first and dug out for a double play. Second one turned by Arizona. Halfway home in Phoenix. And the Diamondbacks up 5-2.
Purchase a 5-game weekend plan starting at $20 per ticket. If the Dodgers win all of the 5 games that you pick, you'll win 2 tickets to Fan Appreciation Day, September 24th, and be recognized in a group photo on the field. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
Kenta Maeda back to the mound and delivering strike 1 to Jake Lamb. Middle third of the Diamondbacks order here in the bottom of the 5th. Lamb has one of the 3 home runs for Arizona in this one of the 6 extra base hits. An 0-1 pitch. Bounces 1-1. So what's left for Maeda to salvage now is to be able to get deep into this game, at least relatively deep for what he's done this year. He's yet to pitch into the 6th. He's sitting at 74 pitches. He's got a shot. A 1-1. 2-1. Third in the National League behind Ozuna and Harper, and runs batted in. Back-to-back years of big starts for the Seattle native. He waits on a 2-1 and pops it up to left field. Brett Eibner. 1 out. Yasmani Tomas comes up.
Left fielder, Yasmani Tomas.
Defected from Cuba 3 years ago now. His biggest motivation in doing that was that his wife had gotten a work visa. That was a bigger motivation, he said, than playing baseball in the majors. That ball is drilled way back to left center. Eibner running out of room. Tomas with his 2nd home run. And the fourth allowed by Kenta.
Kenta Maeda is the sixth hitter of next inning. Dodgers trying to stretch him out. Before this pitch and swing, 3 home runs was the most home runs he had given up in his Dodger career. Now it's 4 in one game. That was a towering shot.
Then the Descalso looks at a breaking ball that's low, ball 1. He's doubled his home run total for the season. Descalso flips one into short left. Maeda calls off Eibner, and he's got it for the second out. So the Dodgers will have to climb out of a big hole to avoid losing their 5th out of their last 6 games. Arizona, meanwhile, hopes that it's on its way to an 8-1 start in this park. Could be the best ever for Arizona. Franchise was started in '98. Chris Owings with the bases empty and 2 gone. Looks at ball 1. Diamondbacks had 3 division titles in their first 5 years of existence. That included the World Championship in '01. It's Luis Avilan, by the way. That's a strike, 1-1. Only 2 postseason trips, though, in the 14 years since. Last time was in 2011. A little bit out, 2-1. And they're looking at this current window as the Goldschmidt-Pollock window, and reaching the back end of it. There's only a year left on Goldschmidt's deal. Bounce back to Maeda. He throws Owings out, and the 5th inning ends, but Tomas hits his 2nd homer of the game, and it's 6-2 Diamondbacks. Series Dodgers-Giants is going to have a different feel to it than probably would have thought coming into the season. Giants have the worst record in the National League right now, and the Dodgers will need to come from behind to avoid going to 8-10. Ball 1 on Yasiel Puig, and no Madison Bumgarner, so there will be no Kershaw Bumgarner Tuesday night. Robbie Ray dealing his 1-0. It's a strike on Puig. 1-2. Seen him expand more tonight than we have most of the year.
A little bit. First and second, no out. The ground ball to short just came out of it a little bit.
Better take there. 2-2. Ray 5 Ks, 2 walks. Dodgers getting a run to start the game on a Hernandez homer, and then 3 straight base runners in the third. Up and in, full count.
That'll get your adrenaline going. That's something that he will have to stay composed.
Had one to hit and missed it. We'll do the 3-2 again.
Same pitch that Brett Eibner missed and got upset with himself. These hitters are seeing the ball well when it's right up there in that wheelhouse. It's not putting the swing on it that they want.
Tennessee native Robbie Ray, home with another 3-2. Puig gets a big bouncer towards the middle that begins his 6th inning with a single. Antone 294, something to cheer about.
Finds a hole with this one. Does a nice job battling to count to 3-2. Gets a pitch that he can hit hard, a 2-hopper.
Honeycutt, Kenta Maeda, Will Ireton.
They're downloading the outing.
Here's Van Slyke. And Slyke attacks the first pitch. It's foul. Down to Alano. Try it again in a second.
You got me now?
We get first with 1 gone. Dodgers down 6-2 in the 6th. And Ray to Van Slyke with an 0-1. That's in. Let's try Alana again.
All right, guys. Basically down here, Dave Roberts earlier when Yasiel Puig was at the plate just screaming at him to get on base, get on base. He had that single back up the middle. He said, there you go. Look at the pelota. Obviously looking at the ball, being able to see the ball and hit the ball well. Telling Austin Barnes right now, who's still in the dugout, let's get Robbie Ray into the showers.
It's at 96 pitches right now, Alana. Here's his 97th, and Van Slyke rips it on the ground into left, a base hit. And back-to-back singles to open the 6th. Tom Wilhelmsen loosening.
A couple of hard ground balls that happen to find some holes. A couple steps in the dive. That means you've hit it hard.
Mike Butcher comes out to talk with Robbie Ray, who gets ready to face Jock Peterson, and he struck Peterson out both times today.
Austin Barnes on deck. They're getting the righty and the bullpen ready. The pitch count starting to be elevated at 97. They're definitely not going to take Ray out against Peterson. Ray looks like he's doing all the talking, so talking about how he's going to attack him, what he's going to do. Butcher just out there to probably tell him just to empty the tank. This is your last hitter.
That's what he told him that day in the bullpen in Miami last year. Go ahead and empty it right away, though. Don't save anything for the ends of your outing. That was a turning point for Robbie Ray when he decided to just cut it loose. 2 on, nobody out, in a 4-run game in the 6th inning. Jock shows bunt, takes strike 1. Showing the bunt with the overshift on and just 1-man home on the left side. That's the third baseman, Lamb. Thought being if he can get it by the mound, there's nobody there at short. The 0-1 in the dirt, ball one. Ray's 100th pitch. Perfect over the outside corner, 1-2. And Jock has been upset from the start with Marty Foster tonight. Simply said to him, that's the ball.
I would think that Jock is right on this one.
Now the 1-2. And he swings and misses, strike 3. Ray's gotten him all 3 times.
Once a left-hander gets a fastball away for a strike against a left-handed hitter, boy, it is really hard to lay off the breaking ball. It's the perfect setup pitch.
And it looks like they will leave him in to face the right-handed batting Austin Barnes. He has appeared to see Robbie Ray really well tonight. A double and then a walk. Puig at second. And Slyke at first. They both singled against Robbie Ray. Barnes has seen 15 pitches from Ray tonight. And he pokes one towards the right field corner that gets by Peralta to the wall. Barnes with his second double of the night. It drives home Puig. Van Slyke stops at third, and it's a 6-3 game. Boy, Van Slyke was right on Puig's heels, but with one out, Chris Woodward decides to hold him up.
This is the best of the 3 hits in this inning. Couple ground balls that find holes that were hit hard, and this one finds a hole in the outfield, slicing away from Peralta. Barnes has a chance maybe for 3, but when you're down the way they are in this game right now, just move them along, score, and keep the rally going.
Robbie Ray pulled out of the game. They go to the bullpen to bring the right hand.
Today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
A bit of drama here in the 6th inning. Tom Wilhelmsen comes in. The number's not very good here in his first year in Arizona. 33-year-old journeyman to face Corey Seager representing the tying run.
3-4 days ago, Corey Seager in a pretty big slump. 6 strikeouts in a row. Got a walk, a base hit, but of late the swing is back in the groove. And he's got a very big at bat right here to get the Dodgers back into this thing.
With Toles on deck, and Dave Roberts, as he often does when a left-hander starts, has a lot of weapons coming off his bench. Starts him with a breaking ball that Seager takes. Ball 1. Two singles and a double in this inning. Barnes driving in a run with his 2-bagger. 2-0 on Seager. That's like at third. Barnes at second. Puig has already scored on the Barnes double. Wilhelmsen, 33 years old, and an incredible story. Spent several years out of the game. It's 2-0. Seager hits a big bouncer to the right side. This one rolls foul. Debuted in the majors with Seattle as a teammate of Seager's brother up there, Kyle Seager. Then to Texas. Now in his first year with the Diamondbacks. Got to be pretty cool for him. He's from Tucson, Arizona. Too far from here in Phoenix. On in relief of Robbie Ray. The 2-1. 2-2. That changeup disappeared on him.
That ball was outstanding, especially to an aggressive hitter like Corey when he sees strike. The more I watch Corey play, the more he reminds me offensively of Chipper Jones when he first broke into the big leagues. Chipper broke in and was second in the Rookie of the Year, 18th in MVP, and Corey surpassed that.
A 2-2. Seager fouls it off down the left field line. Seager first and third in those categories.
Chipper broke in '95 with 23 home runs, 86 RBIs. The next year followed it through with 30 home runs, 110, and went on to a long-term Hall of Fame career. And just thinking about Corey's reputation coming up for this pinch hit appearance and what the league thinks of him already.
Leaves that one up, and the count is full. At first base open. Still, though, just 1 out. Andrew Toles waiting on deck.
This early in his career will test anybody on the mound.
Here comes the payoff. And Seager shanks one to left. On comes Tomas to make the catch. The throw to the plate keeps Van Slyke at third.
Corey trying to judge us as long as possible that it's a strike, and when he does, he hits a lot of balls like this, and he'll find gaps and he'll find the line, but Diamondbacks have him played perfectly.
Pitch hit for Tampa by number 60, Andrew Toles.
Up to Toles here. Back in the third as well, the Dodgers had a golden opportunity. Second and third, nobody out after they had scored 1. But were unable to score anymore. Here they had second and third and 1 out. Wilhelmsen gets Seager. And after Butcher's visit, it'll be Toles.
This is a scouting report on Andrew Toles. This is a reminder that Kike Hernandez is on deck, a right-handed hitter who usually doesn't see many righties, plays mostly against lefties. A lot of strategies and a lot of ways to attack the rest of this inning.
Van Slyke at third, he singled. Barnes at second with the RBI double. Tying run at the plate, it's Tolles. Wilhelmsen pitches and misses up with a breaking ball.
Wilhelmsen doesn't strike out many batters at all. Pretty much guaranteed to put the ball in play against him unless you really chase out of the strike zone.
Here's a 1-0. In the dirt, and a good stop by Herman. 2 balls, no strikes. If it gets to Hernandez, do you think he hits?
I'd have to check that out. I got to look back here who we got left. We got Chase Utley for sure.
Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez. Corey Seager's already in the game, so you have a shortstop that can play shortstop. Yeah, I could see Dave going to the bench still.
Grandal there as well, though that gets tricky. Bringing in your other catcher. 2-0 on Tolles. Wilhelmsen delivers. That fades away. 3 balls and no strikes, and we just might find out.
Adrian getting ready. He wouldn't be getting ready to not hit. They've gone curveball, spike, fastball, changeup. Definitely the instructions were not to give him anything good to hit.
And he walks him on 4 pitches to load the bases. Hernandez is pulled back, and Adrian Gonzalez will come up. And the Dodgers butter and egg man throughout his career, but trying to get it going here in 2017. Crowd shows its approval for this move. Still a fan favorite, no matter the numbers early on this year. So here we go. Right-hander against left-hander. First one to Gonzalez. In the dirt, ball 1.
We saw his batting average for the year at .250, but he loves to hit here.
21 home runs in this ballpark.
That's like a full year, you know, 81 home games. That's 85 games. That's a pretty good year.
Says he sees the ball here better than anywhere else in baseball. Flips it foul, and it's 1-1. Big spot for Gonzalez in the 6th. Big spot for the Dodgers, having lost 4 of 5. In a 6-3 hole with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Here's a 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Five career grand slams. Wilhelmsen ready. His 1-2 in the dirt. Tried to get him to chase. 2-2.
High fastball, foul ball, then change up down. Good take from Adrian.
Gonzalez. It's a bouncing ball to this hole. It's short. They pump it third and go to short. in time. How in the world was Chris Owings able to get Gonzalez?
Going to be a little delay here from the Dodgers checking this one out. Thinks there. Now Adrian is not a fleet of foot, but he is busting it as far as he can. It is so close.
Owings looked at third, pumped at third, still had to throw across the diamond. And they will review it. Again, so key here in such a close play. Unfortunately, in this case, is that the call on the field is out.
Boy, it looks like he might be safe.
That roar you heard.
Foot is on the bag now.
Yeah.
He's safe.
I'm sorry to cut you off. That roar you heard was Pantone 294.
Oh, for sure.
Sitting in right field, seeing the replay on the video board.
Adrian is really accurate on his replay calls, even when he's on defense or running the bases. And he immediately, after touching the bag, turned to Dave Roberts and waggled his finger like, no, 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 I'm not out.
And so it's a 6-4 game, and the tying run moves into scoring position. Puig loves it. Chris Taylor coming to the plate. And it looks like a double switch coming. Still no official ruling on that play for Gonzalez. Nick Ahmed checks in. Looks like he'll play short. Tomo Helpson is finished.
Escalso out.
Okay.
And Owings looks like he's going over to second.
So back into the bullpen. We'll get you updated on all the moves. Good one going in Phoenix. Let's take a look at the VW slow-mo cam. Chris Owings, after looking at third, pumping at third, threw to first, a touch late, initially called out. Replay overturned it. Official score has labeled it an infield single and an RBI for Gonzalez, making it 6-4. And so they're loaded up for Chris Taylor. J.J. Hoover on to face him. He takes ball one. Taylor, 2 career home runs, both in this ballpark. One of them last night. One of them a grand slam last year. Here's a 1-0. Fastball away, 2 balls and no strikes. First career homer was a grand slam as part of a day where he finished just a single shy of the cycle. And we told you Gonzalez said it. Taylor said the same thing. But this is just a really good place to see pitches. Upstairs, and it's 3-0. That big green backdrop in center field. The way the ball flies, a hitter's paradise in here. Nowhere to put him. 3-0. Ball 4, and it's a one-run game. Barnes steps on home. An RBI for Taylor with a bases-loaded walk.
Every move the Dodgers made yesterday in the 8th inning didn't work at all. Gave up 9 runs. Right now, the Diamondbacks making moves, and the Dodgers are getting everything going their way.
And Justin Turner comes up with the bases jammed. 9th man to bat in the inning.
Justin Turner looking for his first home run of the year. Be a nice time to get it.
Takes ball 1. Hoover is yet to find the zone in his first 5 pitches.
Diamondbacks were very good at passing the baton last night, not being over anxious. Justin Turner showing his patience right there on the first pitch.
On 1-0. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. Three singles, a double, 2 walks in the inning against 3 different pitchers. Hoover to Turner with a 1-1. 1-2.
Love to come fastball in right here if you're a pitcher off the plate to set up the breaking pitch. They've thrown 3 of those. If you come in there with Justin on top of the plate, you got a chance of hitting him. And he's on an all-time record pace of being hit by the ball.
Hoover's 1-2 is fouled back. We'll do it again. He's already been hit 5 times. That's on pace for 50 some, 60 some. And the record's 20 in Dodger history.
It's he's been a target. When they did the second best pitch, they went high fastball but not inside.
2-2.
Justin always says in these situations, why should I be nervous? The pitcher's the one in the jam, so he just tries to relax and get a pitch he can drive.
Checks his swing. Full count with the bases loaded and 2 gone and a 1-run game.
It's a good check swing, and what I think of right now is Chris Taylor can really run at first base, and they will be off. If he can get a big lead, anything in the gap, he'll score.
Here it comes, and he got him. So Hoover's able to leave the bases loaded, but the Dodgers do get 3, and it's a 1-run game, middle 6. around the rest of the National League West. Colorado behind 3 home runs off Matt Moore. Reynolds with his 5th. Story with his 4th. Blackman with his 5th. A 6-1 lead. Trying to take the first 2 in that series. And San Diego in the bottom of the 7th. Tied with Miami. Padres looking for their 4th consecutive win. In a 1-run game, here's Chris Hatcher.
Hatch has been hot and cold, but of late throwing the ball really well, except for one little outing, and just trying to stay away from that home run ball. Every once in a while he can get ahead, look like he's right on it, and then all of a sudden it melts down on him. Throwing the ball much better than last year.
Andrew Tolles, after pinch hitting, stays in and plays left. Corey Seager stays in and plays short. Chris Herman has a 2-run homer tonight and leads off this inning against Hatcher by taking ball 1. Diamondbacks 4 home runs against Kenta Maeda. Besides Herman's, 2 from Tomas and 1 from Lamb. Hatcher's 1-0. That's a strike. Chris's son celebrated his first birthday a few days ago. That's about a week ago now. 2-1. Had a little party for him at the ballpark. Team was home at that point. His lone job, Chris's lone job, was just pick up the cake, the pound cake. That's what they call it for, right? For the first birthday, where the kids
they pound it.
On the ground is second. Taylor stabs it with a backhand for the first out. I'm sure my wife will text me quickly if I have that term wrong, because we have one coming up. Nick Ahmed with 1 out in the 6th. Came in a double switch. This guy has not been a good hitter in his career, but against the Dodgers, he's been really good. Already got the correction. Smash cake. Not a pound cake, although those exist too.
That was from Libby?
No.
Oh.
No.
Somebody else?
Yeah.
You have a lot of people cross-checking you.
Got to get your cakes right. Pound cake. 1-1. Jensen is Chris's son's name. Chris from North Carolina originally, a small town. Says he's most at his element on the tractor or in his shop, welding, listening to some classic rock. It's fouled off and it's 1-2. His 1-2 to Ahmed is in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ahmed, the older brother of a Dodger farmhand. Mike Ahmed off to a good start right now in Double-A Tulsa. Nick in his 4th big league season. So starting shortstop each of the last 2 years, but has succumbed those duties to Chris Owings this year. The 2-2. A fastball back to the mound. Hatcher's got it. 2 out. All new episode of Backstage Dodgers on Thursday. Follow Pedro Baez to his childhood home in the Dominican Republic. Plus Chase Utley goes to UCLA, a return to surprise his alma mater. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Hankook Tires Thursday right after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA. Back to the top of the Arizona order and A.J. Pollock. You know, talking about Nick Ahmed losing his spot at short, that is purely an offensive move to get Chris Owings' bat into the lineup. The reason I bring that up is how the Dodgers got their 5th run. That's low. 1-0. Or their 4th run, keeping the inning going with the infield single from Gonzalez. Owings at short. Thought twice about throwing to first, looked at third, then went back to first. Ahmed probably makes that play. Really good defensive shortstop. 2-0. Two and one.
Big shutdown inning right here for Chris Hatcher. 2 outs in the book recorded, and your team climbs back into the game. You want to keep that momentum.
Dodgers really yet this year don't have that signature win that comes to mind as far as a comeback or late victory. If they somehow found a way to pull this one out, it would certainly qualify. After trailing 6-2.
So many of the wins, they've gotten off to a good start at the beginning of the game and just kind of continued on.
Right.
Dave Roberts looking in his book for the answers. Checking out his matchups, who he's got left.
Answer to that is Grandal and Utley off his bench as far as hitters. Here's the 2-1, and Pollock swings and lifts a fly ball to short left field. Andrew Tolles is under it, and Chris Hatcher has worked a 1-2-3-6. No runs, no hits, 1 smash K onto the 7th in a 1-run game.
Will be immortalized at Dodger Stadium. Be there on May 3rd when the Dodgers face the Giants and Vin Scully joins the Ring of Honor. The first 40,000 fans will receive a commemorative Vin Scully microphone statue presented by Mercedes-Benz dealer of Southern California. Visit Dodgers.com/promotion.
Here it is. Heavy duty too. This thing could be like a paperweight or a bookend or anything you want to use it for, but very heavy duty.
Not quite a barbell.
No.
Really nice and well done, and Mr. Scully deserves it, and he really deserves the Ring of Honor.
Sure does.
It's going to be fun to see him, and everybody, the first 40,000 people will get a microphone.
Yasiel Puig leading off this inning against J.J. Hoover, and ahead of him 2-0. Dodgers trailed this game 6-2 entering last inning and plated 3 against 3 different Diamondbacks pitchers. Now Hoover to Puig. Ball 3. J.J. Hoover, who started last season as Cincinnati's closer, but had awful numbers and was cut loose. 4-pitch walk for Puig to open the 7th. Same way the 6th inning began. He started the 6th with a single. Starts this inning by reaching in front of Van Slyke. Who singled himself, came in to score. Now, Hoover thought that his issues last year had to do with his weight training. Misses with the first one. Previously had focused on the smaller muscles. Last year, for whatever reason, changed his weight program and got a little too bulky with bigger, powerful muscles, and readjusted it this offseason. Focused again on the smaller muscles. Those are strong again. Signed a minor league deal with Arizona, and he's off to a really good start for him. It's a reason you don't see too many pitchers that have huge, burly upper bodies. 1-1.
That's separation between the hips and the shoulders, and if you get all bulked up and lose your flexibility, that's what drives the arm. The strong legs, but flexible.
2-1. He continues to fall behind. Puig, a good lead, back to the bag in front of the throw. Having fun playing the game right now, Puig is. You can see it in his body language. Hops to a healthy lead again. Strike 2. Foul tipped into the mitt for strike 3, and 1 gone in the 7th.
Breaking ball to get back in the count. Breaking ball to finish him off.
With Peterson coming up, looks like the Vo is going to make the move to a left-hander. Jorge De La Rosa. Peterson has struck out all 3 times against a left-handed starter, Robbie Ray. Novello not going to take any chances against Jock, who represents the go-ahead run. So a right-hander will come in a 1-run game in the 7th.
Brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the Double Jack Combo for just $4.99. Only at Jack in the Box.
Jeff Mathis comes in to do the catching for the veteran pitcher Jorge De La Rosa, left-hander that Torey Lovullo calls on to face the left-handed batting Jock Peterson. Represents the go-ahead run for the Dodgers in a game they trailed 6-2. Puig a lead-off walk. Then Slake down on strikes against Hoover. And now Peterson against De La Rosa. De La Rosa's pitched in both games in this series now. Faced one batter yesterday. Needed 2 pitches to get it out. Misses with the first one. Talked about A.J. Pollock studying video of great hitters earlier tonight. Change his swing. Jock has done the same, studying video of Barry Bonds and David Ortiz, some of the great left-handed bats. Realized what they had in common was that they had the barrel in the same place consistently as it came through the zone. He's tried to mimic that. Wicked caught, 1-1.
Ball in off the plate. You can see it real well because it's up in your eyes, but you got to get the width also.
De La Rosa, 36 years old, out of Monterrey, Mexico. And his 14th major league year, ready for a 1-1 to Jock Peterson, and instead he'll check on Puig.
De La Rosa recorded his out yesterday. It was Chase Utley. Getting to face another lefty here in Jock. Almost checking on Yasiel Puig just to kind of get Jock off him also, like they were setup pitches when he picks off the first. Making Jock just as anxious as getting Yasiel back.
A pop-up into left. Tomas for the second out. Austin Barnes comes up with 2 gone in the 7th. Dodgers down a run. Barnes has reached all 3 times today. Pair of doubles. A walk, knocked in a run, scored a run. That was all against Robbie Ray. Dave Roberts playing the right card and starting Barnes, giving Grandal the day off. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Dodgers actually out hitting the Diamondbacks in this game, 10-9, but the D-backs have made the hits hurt. 4 home runs against Maeda. And 0-1 in the dirt, kicks away. Puig headed for second, and the tying run is in scoring position.
Really hard ball to block, and Yasiel Puig saw the angle and was off. This one hit way out in front of the plate. Good job just getting the chest on it, but when it's that wide, it's hard to square up. Yasiel almost put the landing gear down, but realized there was nobody there at second to receive a ball.
The 1-1 pitch. Barnes in front of it, 1-2.
To the left-handed Peterson, he threw them all fastballs here to Austin Barnes, throwing his changeup.
Dodgers left them loaded last inning. They have the tying run at second here in the 7th. And a 1-2 to Barnes. Misses badly, 2-2. And you know De La Rosa wants to be done with it once he gets finished dealing with Barnes, because Corey Seager is due next. Much rather that the Diamondbacks face him to open the 8th. A 2-2. Barnes takes the same pitch that he swung and missed at earlier. Full count.
The relationship between a hitter and a pitcher is an information exchange. You're giving them the information on your spin, you better try and get it to be a strike. Barnes has seen everything he's got.
Here it comes. Barnes bounces one to second. Owings has it, and the inning is over. Dodgers get the leadoff man on, but leave him in scoring position. We stretch in Phoenix. Dodgers trying to climb the mountain in this one. They trailed 6-2. They're back to within 6-5 to the bottom of the 7th, and Chris Hatcher pours in a strike to the 2-hitter David Peralta. 1-2-3, 6th inning for Hatcher, but now facing the meat of this order that's produced 19 runs in the 2 games in this series. 1-1. See, that bat of Peralta's might look a little bit different if you look closely. It's 1-2. It's an axe handled bat, something that he switched to following his wrist surgery. Got an oval handle. It's angled, partial knob to it. Something that Dustin Pedroia was the first to use, notably. Much different than the normal knob to the bat. A little more forgiving on guys with wrist and hand injuries. And a couple other Diamondbacks to use it. Jake Lamb and Chris Owings have both tinkered with it. But for Peralta, coming back from that wrist surgery, this is what really allowed him to cut it loose again. And he shoots a base hit down the left field line. Tolles over to cut it off deep in the corner. No chance to get him. A leadoff double. His third double of the game.
It's a swing like Corey Seager will make, where it looks like he's going to pull the ball, then slash it down the line. And Andrew Tolles' hustle does not go for naught, because he keeps that ball from rattling around that corner, and that could have been a triple. Nice job cutting it off.
So Goldschmidt now. One of the best hitters in the National League, is the only hitter in the lineup tonight that hasn't reached. 1-0. Got called up straight from Double-A in 2011, where Turner Ward was his manager. Had to change planes 3 times because of mechanical problems and bad weather to get from Mobile to San Francisco, where he was making that debut. And then once they got in the air, after switching planes 3 times, no joke, the plane was struck by lightning.
Oh my gosh. What a way to start your big league career.
Yes. Made his first opening day roster the following year, but an all-star all 4 years since then. 2-0.
I'm a big fan right here of semi-intentional walk. Same ground ball that would get the guy over to third might get you a double play, with Goldie standing over there at first. Goldie's a very disciplined hitter, knows how to hit the ball to the right side, knows how important it is to get that guy to third. Chris Hatcher and the Dodgers might be just better off having this be first and second, no out.
Led the majors in walks last year. With the lights going off. Have we got cell phones out, or is there a giveaway in here tonight? Not sure I'd like that if I was the hitter. 3-1.
For some reason, the fans have decided to use their cell phone lights.
Rally lights, I'm being told.
Oh, great.
Seemed like a rally killer.
That's not what the hitters would want to see.
That's what I'm thinking. Doesn't that feel distracting?
That's when they're glad that big green backdrop is big.
Hatcher delivers a 3-1 and takes ball 4. So the first 2 have reached against Hatcher here in the 7th.
Once the leadoff double's there, you got Goldschmidt, the guy who shouldn't beat you, up. I just let him stand over there at first base. Try and get the ground ball double play right here.
The Dodgers last night in that 8th inning, those 9 runs they allowed. The bullpen over the first 16 games had given up 8. 8 runs in the first 16 games. 9 runs in the 8th inning last night.
I'd rather do it all in one game than over a week.
Right, get it out of your system.
You get 1 loss instead of maybe 3 or 4.
Jake Lamb Bouncing ball to first, in between bounce, knocked down by Van Slyke, and everybody's safe.
This ground ball is in no man's land because of the way it's hit and where Van Slyke is going to end up fielding. It's going to be a really hard play. Even if he gets to this ball, if he gets it right there, he's going to have to flip it to Chris Hatcher very quickly. Ball ends up waist high where it kind of handcuffs you. Good fortunes for the Diamondbacks. Unfortunate for the Dodgers.
Diamondbacks eyes wide now, thinking about another big inning. And Tomas, who's homered twice tonight, comes up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ball one. The 9 runs last night in the 8th inning, that fell too short of the LA franchise record, which actually came 18 years ago tomorrow. An 11-run inning for St. Louis when Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in the same inning against Chan Ho Park. That was in the 3rd. The 1-0 to Tomas is low. 2 balls and no strikes.
No action in the Dodger bullpen. Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt. If this inning gets away from Chris Hatcher, in some ways it's not worth rescuing it and going through your pen tomorrow. With a day game tomorrow, you don't want to go through your pen again here tonight. Chris, this is on you right now to keep the game in the balance.
Scary pitch. 3-0. Double walk air, loading the bases. And a 3-0 from Chris Hatcher. Strike one.
Got to throw a strike. Got to let your defense do the work. No defense for a walk.
And 5 walks in that big inning last night. That matched the most, as far as I can track those things, back into the mid-70s. The 3-1. And he has walked in a run. Jeff Mathis comes up for the first time tonight. They pinch run at first, by the way. Jeremy Hazelbaker comes in over there and replaces Tomas. Still nobody out. Hatcher with the first one to Mathis. That's a strike. Mathis made his first 2 appearances in the game last night in that 9-run 8th inning. Came off of the bench. Or got his first 2 plate appearances in that inning after starting. Now that in 2, fastball.
You got to keep it together out there on the mound. You got to believe that 7-5 is still, you got a chance. And you got to believe you can get out of this jam.
One step closer with a strikeout of Mathis.
Goes up the ladder. Breaking ball, fastball up, fastball higher.
So with the bases loaded and 1 out now, it's Chris Owings, and a ground ball could get Hatcher out with minimal damage. Line drive, base hit to left center. 2 runs will score. Arizona has broken it open again, 9-5.
Now time for the Arco top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Little hanging breaking ball from Chris Hatcher, trying to get ahead. Owings doesn't try to do too much with it, just stays on top of it, hits a line drive in the gap. Insurance runs for the Diamondbacks.
And the beat LA chants rain down as Jorge De La Rosa will hit for himself. The back-to-back lefties due up to open the 8th inning for LA. So after the Dodgers fight for those 3 runs in the 6th to draw to within 1, the Diamondbacks answer with 3 of their own here in the 7th. De La Rosa bunts it towards 3rd. Turner will throw to 1st to get him. Runners advance to 2nd and 3rd, 2 away. And Nick Ahmed. Diamondbacks 22 runs on 25 hits in the game plus in this series. They were averaging about 3 runs a game in that 10-game road trip, but just with the doctor ordered for him coming back here to Chase Field. Ball 1 low. Ahmed in the air to center. Peterson on the run, still going, runs it down to end the inning. Doc Peterson in that expansive outfield able to track down Ahmed's drive, but the D-backs strike for 3 as we go to the 8th.
Returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
Corey's cover boy for that series. Leads off this inning against Jorge De La Rosa and hacks the first pitch foul. Corey is also in the top 10 in jerseys sold across baseball. It came out this week since the end of last year. Clayton Kershaw third in baseball, most popular jersey. Seager the 7th most popular jersey. 1-1.
I'm thinking one must Mike Trout.
Trout not in the top 7.
Wow. Bryce Harper
not in the top 7. Think who's really, really popular right now. Who loves their team right now. 1-2. You having to look for hints on this? Oh, this is so easy. Russell, our stats man, is trying to deliver all the hints. Think Cubs.
Oh,
For
Rizzo.
the top 5. Rizzo's second.
Oh, all those guys. I don't even mention them. They knocked us out last year.
Bryant, the #1 selling person.
Bryant. Yep.
Baez is 4. Schwarber's 5. Noah Syndergaard is 6. Seager hits a fly ball to left center. Hazelbaker's out there for the first out of the inning.
I wasn't about to name a giant, I'll tell you that.
Checking for you on Trout.
It's not even in the top 7 because all those Cubs knocked him out, huh?
Here's Andrew Toles. Swings at the first pitch. Lamb hustles over but runs out of room. Trout is 10th.
Okay.
You said you didn't want to guess a giant, but Buster Posey right behind Seager at 8th.
Gotcha. What do you have? The top 20 in front of you?
Yeah.
Who's the first pitcher after Kershaw?
Syndergaard at 6.
Okay.
One almost hits Toles. It's 1-1.
Scherzer make the top 20?
No.
Arrieta?
Actually, only one other pitcher.
Yeah, I was.
Kershaw, Syndergaard, Bumgarner. Bumgarner 12th. We're talking about the top sold jerseys in baseball. 1-2.
John Lester or Arrieta and the Cubs not cracking it.
Cubs fans like those young position players. Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber, all in the top 5 sold jerseys. De La Rosa to Toles with a 1-2 pitch. Hammered foul. Do it again. Gary Sanchez surprisingly is in the top 10. He's only been in the majors for a few months.
Big market.
Yeah, that's true. It's foul. Still 1-2. Although he's the only Yankee. I guess they've had so much turnover in the last year or so. He's what they're clinging on to at this point. Another 1-2, and Toles hits one off with a handle to second. Picked by Owings and gets it.
Made that play at shortstop, but hesitated, went for the runner at third, and then went to first, and Gonzalez beat it out. Beautiful play there at second.
Utley bats here with the bases empty and 2 gone. Dodgers down 9-5 after dropping the opener 13-5 last night. Chase just 1 hit so far this year. Came on April 6th. Final day of that season opening series against San Diego. First one in there for a strike. He's been on base 3 times. He's scored all 3 times that he's been on. Figures to see more time over the next week or so with Logan Forsythe on the disabled list. That one crosses Mathis up and then gets a chunk of home plate umpire Marty Foster. Hard to get it strike when you let the umpire get hit by it.
I don't know what happened right there. Wants something away. He just expected it to move, and boy, got him on the hand. That doesn't feel good. Right on the knuckles.
Marty from Denver.
How to make friends and influence people. That's not a good way for a catcher.
2-1 on Utley.
Chase has been out doing some early work, early BP, trying to get his swing down, trying to find enough reps to get a rhythm. Hard thing to adjust to, being an everyday player, then all of a sudden being a part-time player.
Bounces one to second. Owings gathers and throws him out. A 1-2-3 inning for the Dodgers here in the 8th.
Dodgers brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers. John Hartung, Jerry Hairston Jr. and Ned Coletti will break down Kenta Maeda's performance. Goes 5 innings tonight, giving up the 6 earned runs. We'll also talk about the Dodgers' inability to put anything across the plate. 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position, having left 8 on base. I'll be in the clubhouse talking to Dave Roberts and the guys. Joe?
All right, Alana. Ross Stripling comes in here in the bottom of the 8th. His second night in a row operating on the mound for Dave Roberts. Pitched a scoreless 7th, but then had issues opening the 8th. And eventually 9 runs would come across, and he was tagged with a loss. Strike 1 on A.J. Pollock, top of the order here for Arizona. Pollock 1 for 4 tonight. Pollock 2 for 5.
Diamondbacks have proven tonight that they can hit the high fastball. Kenta Maeda had trouble with that. Here Ross Stripling leaves the ball up and gives up the hit.
Up comes David Peralta, who's having a heck of a night. 3 doubles, and now in the last 3 games against the Dodgers has 9 hits. And I know we've told his story before, but worth telling again. Started his pro career as a pitcher in the Cardinals organization. Takes one up and in, ball 1. Played both outfield and pitcher coming up, but St. Louis, when they signed him, convinced him to pitch, and he said he didn't care. He was just happy to have a professional team that wanted him. But he had 2 shoulder surgeries, and the Cardinals released him. Here's a 1-0. Checks his swing on a strike. Said that was the worst day of his life when the Cardinals cut him loose. His dad talked him into trying and making a comeback as an outfielder. So he went home to Venezuela, worked with his dad, spent the entire morning on baseball activities, spent the entire afternoon just working out, getting stronger, dropping weight, very strict diet. So it got to the point finally where an independent team wanted him to play outfield, at least give him an opportunity to show him what he could do. Problem was, he didn't have enough money. He was back in Florida at this point. Didn't have enough money for gas to drive to Texas. Fouled off 1-2. So before he could join the first independent team that gave him an opportunity, he had to spend a month working at a local McDonald's. Had a connection there through a family friend. So went in, worked the drive-through. He was working the fry station some. Saved up enough money to fill up the tank a couple times, get to Texas, play his first of 3 independent league seasons. Caught the attention of a Diamondback scout early on in his time in independent ball. Really the only scout that he caught the attention of. The guy gave him his number, said keep in touch, keep me posted on your progress, and he took it literally, and every day David would reach out to this scout and update him how he was doing. It's a ground ball through the middle, base hit, his 4th hit of the day. He's trying to turn it into a 4th double, and does. Wow. Playing like a guy who's had a long journey to get here to the pinnacle.
Playing with a full tank of gas, and he hits the accelerator right out of the box. When you're losing as bad as the Dodgers have the last couple nights, it's slightly embarrassing to have somebody do this to your outfielders. They are taking it to the blue.
That's the first 4-double game in Diamondbacks history. Paul Goldschmidt comes up. Well, Stripling deals to him, and it's ball 1. So that's the latest piece of his story. In between independent ball and this 4-double night, the Diamondbacks finally signed him, so he got into affiliated baseball. They put him in Double-A, and he was called up a year later for his big league debut. 1-1 on Goldschmidt. His manager at that point in Double-A Mobile was Andy Green, who now manages the San Diego Padres. And Green said that when he knocked on Peralta's hotel room door 1 in the morning, Peralta cracked it open. He told him the news. Peralta collapsed in tears. Green calls that one of the best moments of his own life, seeing a dream come true like that.
You see him out there working that gum over, paying attention to detail in a 9-5 game. 2nd and 3rd, no out in the 8th. That passion has not died.
Base hit to center from Goldschmidt. Pollock and Peralta both score. For the 2nd night in a row, the Diamondbacks have scored double-digit runs.
They're swinging the bat like they almost know what's coming, and they are barreling up a lot of pitches. It is not that bad of a pitch. Paul Goldschmidt just pulls his hands inside, gets the barrel on it, and drives it back the middle.
Jake Lamb now, still nobody out. And so the question that a lot of people will ask at this point is, even at this early juncture, has the bullpen's usage caught up to it?
I don't really think this is a fatigue factor. I think it's just an execution factor. I looked at the pitch counts from yesterday. They weren't out of whack. The usage really has not been out of whack because you're spreading it over 7 guys. And we've also had different bodies down there this early in the season.
So just one of those things, some blip on a season radar.
You've got to trust the track records. You've got to trust the abilities. You've got to trust what you see with your eyes and the radar gun and the movement on the ball. These guys, you do not lose your ability that quick. You can lose your confidence. You can lose your consistency, but you don't lose your ability.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Lamb. And every team goes through a stretch like this at some point in the season. It's up and in on Lamb, 2-2.
Nothing wrong with moving somebody's upper body like that. Nothing wrong with moving their feet. Diamondbacks are swinging very comfortably. I do not condone throwing at people's heads. I do condone throwing inside off the plate. You have to loosen people up every once in a while, and this shouldn't turn into something.
And position well. There's one and a double play.
When a team is just swinging the bat that comfortably in the box, you have to establish the inside part of the plate and make sure that the outside part of the plate still feels like it's outside to the hitter.
And really up and down this Arizona lineup, you're right, they've all looked really comfortable.
In balance and, head down and through the ball and hitting some pretty good pitches and hitting mistakes really well. But when you run the ball off the outside corner and they're really reading it like that's on the corner, that's off the corner, and all of a sudden they're making you bring the ball more to the middle, you have to throw the ball inside off the plate.
Strike 1 on Jeremy Hazelbaker.
You have to put some anxiety into a hitter's mind that he can't dive out there and be comfortable to turn the outside corner like it's the middle of the plate.
Oh, 0-2. And a guy from a town called Selma, Indiana. Less than 1,000 people there. Grew up a Cardinals fan and made his major league debut for the Cardinals last year. Selma held a Jeremy Hazelbaker day after he debuted. Inside ball 1. This came a year after the Dodgers released Hazelbaker. He spent 2 years in their minor league system, and he said at that point, for the first time, thought about giving the sport up, thought about going back to school to finish his business degree. And the Cardinals were the only team that called to offer him a minor league opportunity. 2-2. He took it. Made his debut. Put up good numbers for the Cardinals. Earned a deal with Arizona this offseason. Been almost exclusively a pinch hitter, and he's produced. Stripling gets him to finish the 8th. The Diamondbacks add 2, and it's a 6-run hole as we go to the 9th. Tomas hit 2 of the 4 Diamondbacks home runs off Kenta Maeda. Solo shot in the first, followed Jake Lamb's 2-run homer, and then hit a solo shot in the 5th as well.
Seeing a lot of calm in the batter's box from Tomas. A lot different than last year, picking on strikes, not chasing balls.
Rodney on in a non-save situation, and that is how his ERA has gotten up around 8.5, and he's still perfect in save opportunities. Yes, he's lived on the edge some in those pressure situations, but he's also had issues with the game out of reach, just trying to get some work in.
It's one of the hardest things for closers to do, especially veteran closers that feast on that adrenaline of the moment and their walk-in music. And knowing that the game is on the line, it puts him in a different mindset. Now he has to actually make believe that this is super important to him.
Chris Taylor, another good night. 2 singles and a walk. A walk in the 6th came with the bases loaded to bring the Dodgers within 1. But the Diamondbacks have scored 5 in a row since. Rodney's first one, a fastball in there, 95 from the 40-year-old. Strike 1. Series wraps up tomorrow. Brandon McCarthy goes for the Dodgers. Shelby Miller goes for the Diamondbacks. It's at 1:10. It'll be on KTLA in addition to Sportsnet LA. One and 2. So I think you and I are both believers in the Rockies being a legit threat right now. What do you think about the Diamondbacks?
I believe in their offense, like I believe in the Rockies offense, and I think both clubs are going to feast or famine along with their starting pitching. Shelby Miller's throwing the ball well. We'll get to see him again tomorrow. Robbie Ray has shown that he is starting to mature as a 25-year-old with a great arm. Zach Greinke can still be a question mark at times. Not everyone is sure, even around Arizona, how good he's going to be. He's lost a lot of velocity, and the changeup is not as devastating as it was when he was a Dodger. But they sure are playing with a completely different mindset and confidence.
This will be their 12th win. Taylor down for the first out of the 9th. Ties him with the Rockies for the most in the National League. And Washington. Washington won again tonight. For Washington now at 12-5, best record in the NL by a half game over 12-6 Colorado. Justin Turner with a base hit to center. Second hit of the day for JT comes with 1 gone in the 9th.
The other starter I didn't mention for the Diamondbacks, Taijuan Walker, has been throwing the ball well, and we've seen him a few times. And the longer you stay in competition, the deeper you get into the season, the more the front office and ownership thinks about helping you. So you can't look at any of the contenders' rosters when we get past All-Star break and think, oh, this is the end.
Rodney to Puig. Strike 1. Best record in the majors right now belongs to the Baltimore Orioles. 12-4. Won their 4th in a row tonight, beating Boston 4-2. Puig hits it hard to third. Lamb will go to second. Owings will turn a double play to finish the game. Diamondbacks have taken the series. They've scored 24 runs in 2 nights.
You're going to have to find a way to stop this train, get out of here with one, and then go to San Francisco and turn this road trip around. And you're going to have to do it in a hurry with a day game tomorrow.
For Oral and Alana and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Chase Field. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Nissan dealers, starts right now.